So we started this week talking about changing your life so that you can have the best year of your life in 2024, right? And we talked yesterday about discipline and we touched a little bit on confidence in the Change Your Life This Year video. But I feel like it's super important to really dive into this idea of confidence, right? And this idea that we need to develop unyielding confidence. That's what I'm calling it. I feel like we need this unyielding confidence in order to accomplish the things that we need to accomplish this year. Because in 2024, the goal is to think bigger, the goal is to do more, the goal is for increase. And the only way that you're going to be able to increase what you have now and to see the increase in terms of your finances, what you're able to accomplish this year, as well as your living situation, your job situation, whether you want to be a content creator or whether you want to, gain muscle mass, lose weight. All of these things are going to require confidence, specifically if you've never done some of these things that you want to do before. So the funny thing is, last night I had an amazing confidence call from a mentor in my screenwriting mentorship program. Now, you may hear me reference the name Carla Watson quite a bit because that's who the call was with. And I got to tell y'all something. Life is about alignment, right? So I always hear this term, how when the student is ready, the teacher will come, right? So given that I'm on this path of creating this type of content, I'm constantly thinking, well, what do I want to discuss next, right? And so it just so happened to be that we had a confidence mastermind last night. And I left that conversation super fired up. And I said, that is alignment right there, because I was thinking about what I wanted my next topic of conversation to be for this channel. And I was sitting in a space where I was getting exactly what I needed, not only for me, but also to share with you. So that's why we're talking about confidence today. Now, confidence in terms of the mindset, I think is super important, especially for me, I'm screenwriting. That's something I've never done before, right? I've always considered myself an amazing writer. I have a degree in journalism, mass communications, and a graduate degree in advertising, public relations. But, writing has always been a passion of mine. I've been a technical writer. I'm currently writing fiction and nonfiction. So I just kind of feel like advancing into screenwriting is really the next step for me. It's the next logical step since I've also worked in entertainment for such a long time. But I think that there's something to be said for developing the confidence to think bigger, to see bigger, to do more for yourself, right? And even as we're in class, we're discussing our scripts and where we are in the process, it's a little overwhelming because for me, as somebody who is newer to the class, I'm in class and I'm in this mentorship with people who have gotten their movies already greenlit, who already have productions out there and who have premieres happening right now. So I'm surrounded by these people and I feel like, I got to step my game up because now I'm rolling with the big dogs, right? So how do we develop the confidence that we need in order to grow and get to the next level and do the things that we really want to do? For me, screenwriting is just one of those things, right? So what is the definition of confidence, right? It's a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's own appreciation of one's own abilities or qualities. Now, I want to stop right there because if you look at this definition, what you will see is the key word to me is appreciation. It is appreciation. It is rooted in gratitude. It is rooted in gratitude and appreciation for something that you already have, right? Your own abilities or qualities. So what I can do now is I can tap into my own abilities, my own skill set that I already have in writing, and I can use that and apply it to, okay, what I want to do in screenwriting. So all I need to do is feel self-assurance, okay? Gratitude, appreciation for what I already have to do what I'm about to do. I, is that not a word right there? Is that not a word for you on this morning? Like, did you not listen to this definition and walk away thinking, aha, a light just turned off in my mind. I already have everything that I need. Everything that I have and I need is already right here within me. All I need to do is become more appreciative of it. And that also is how I develop this confidence that we're speaking of, right? This feeling of self-assurance because it arises from gratitude for something that you already have. That's major. That's major to me. All right. So, one of the big things that we really hit hard on last night was this idea that confidence comes from daily disciplines done daily build character and confidence. Now, Carla Watson is my coach, and I feel like I got to give her credit because she came through last night and yesterday. Is so funny. What I love about alignment and just this is how you know you're on the right path is these things will just come to you in a natural way that makes sense. Yesterday's discussion was all about discipline. For those of you guys who missed that, the topic of the video was called "Why You're Failing at Life," and the premise behind that was that you lacked discipline, and so we really dove deep into the idea of what is discipline and how do we develop it. And now we're talking just later that night after I had done that video that morning. That same night, we're talking about confidence and we're relating that back to discipline. So daily disciplines done daily builds character and confidence, right? So what we're saying to you is that you have to have discipline on a daily basis, right? You have to do the things that you have set about doing. And that is how you build confidence. And that also builds character for yourself because you are responsible for yourself, right? We are sometimes so beholden to our jobs, to church, to friends and relationships. But what about the responsibilities that we and the criteria that we've set for ourselves? Are we as good to ourselves as we are to some of these other people, to some of these other things? And my new philosophy is that it starts here with me. That's something that I'm learning. All right, so speaking of starting, right? Just start. So typically, I'm going to relate it back to screenwriting. I've written a script before. I've acted in, plays and that sort of thing. I've had to work with scripts, in various parts of my life. And to a certain degree, working in news, you're kind of operating from a script as well, right? But I would say that you may not always feel confident in something when you have never done it before, right? And that's natural. Why would you be confident? You really haven't done it, right? But as we related it back to the definition of confidence, there's a gratitude that should already exist for what you are starting with, your baseline, what you have already, right? So you know that you have something within you that can help you get to where you want to be. And I personally believe that God wouldn't have blessed you with the vision to do it if there wasn't something already stirring on the inside that was preparing you for that very thing, right? So I'll use my screenwriting as an example. I was already a writer. I've already written, for technical writing. I've written, and listen, I wasn't perfect at any of these when I first started. Not perfect at all. I know that I have a mastery of the English language, but different types of writing will require you to write very differently, right? So you may not be confident in doing that, but you can be confident in what you know, right? I know writing. So as I've submitted treatments and beat sheets and gotten feedback on them and even books, man, let me tell you something. Like, there is nothing more humbling than the edits from an editor, okay? Because they will let you know that your writing may not be where you want it to be, but I don't lack any level of confidence in that. What I do is I trust my editor because they have more experience. So now I can say I started anyway, which is next on the list. Start anyway. It doesn't matter. I don't care that I don't have any experience at something. If I start anyway, I will develop experience as I go, and that's also how you develop confidence. Grow as you go. Like you gotta start in order. You gotta start playing the game in order to get better at it. And the best way to do it is by playing it. I remember when my dad taught me, and I don't know how people are gonna feel about this, but it was a valuable lesson for me. When I was learning how to ride a bike as a kid, I was having, obviously troubles with, trying to learn it without the training wheels. And my dad was like, "Oh, I got you." And so my dad was like, "All right, come." We had a hill on the side of our house, and my dad was like, "All right, cool. So let's go ahead and get you going down the hills." And I was like, "What? Like, no, you can't be you playing, right?" Next thing you know, I'm riding down the hill, and I of course fall off the bike, which was my fear, right? But what I learned was, oh, this fall wasn't really that bad. Like, I'm okay. I'm good. And to be honest with you, that was all I needed to. I was riding my bike after that, right? I think most of us have that experience. I kind of feel like I'm a jump off the cliff and learn how to fly type person. And I've always been that way. And I believe always that you grow by doing, right? So, again, a point that we had talked about before: trust your instincts, plan, execute daily. You've already got the vision in your head. You don't have the confidence yet because you've never done it, but you do know that you have skills and abilities that you can trust and appreciate. So that will help you actually do it. You just need a plan, you need to execute, and you need to do it daily. Remember, as we stated before, daily disciplines done daily builds character and confidence. Inhale confidence and exhale self-doubt. Crazy enough, right? I'm doing the Peloton and I am writing to Alex Toussaint. And that's something that he says in just about each one of the Peloton rides that I've done with him. And the irony is that that was also something that Carla said last night in our confidence mastermind. And I was just like, a lot, man. When I tell you alignment is real, and I don't understand why people don't get into the real heart of that. I mean, like, and maybe we'll touch on that a lot more later so that really people can understand what I mean by alignment. When all of these things are happening and they're coming into place and they're right on target with where you're trying to go, that's what I mean by alignment right there. All right. So for me, a big thing is, finding your resources. We talked about this as well last night too. Like getting clear about your vision. Like know exactly what you want in your head. Like we're going into this year and we're thinking to ourselves, like, this is what I want for my year. I've written it down because I believe personally that writing things down and seeing it in your handwriting is super helpful for you in terms of your recall of what you wrote and the ideas that you had. And then you always have something to go back to. Like, these are the notes that I made from last night. And I'm just taking notes because in my mind, I know I'm on the right path. Like everything that's happening right now is where I'm supposed to be, right? So you got to get clear about your vision and you got to ask yourself some key questions. Here are the key questions that I want you guys to think about. What new information do I need to know to manifest my vision? And again, I'm taking these directly from my notes because these are what I'm applying to myself, right? So the reason I'm so into mentorship, I'm so into taking, courses and, surrounding myself with people who know more than I do is because I would rather pay to learn something versus, I mean, and granted, you don't have to just pay to learn it. You can do your own due diligence. There's research, there's YouTube, there's Google, there's TikTok, there's Instagram, so many resources out there. And then maybe you find somebody that you find to be credible and who is doing what you're doing. And that's why I started with the Megamind mentorship. Megamind is a production company run by Tressa Azarel Smallwood. And she is an author turned producer who has now put out numerous projects and helped a lot of other people do the same. So I want to be the best that I can possibly be. So I need to learn new information to know how to manifest my vision. So I need to know how to properly write a beat sheet. I need to know how to properly write a treatment. And then what relationships do I need to nurture? I need to know, like, who in my class can I start to work with? Because there's the idea that Issa Rae has said is like, you don't have to, you can work across and reach across and touch people who are where you are and partner with them so that you can begin to nurture your vision, right? So one of the things I remember happening earlier on in our mentorship program, and I was kind of like thrown off a little bit at first, but I'm super glad it happened because I didn't know how it happened, right? I had somebody reach out to me, to potentially read over their treatment. And I'm like, well, I'm new. So I'm like, I don't know how much help I can really give you. And ultimately, that has turned into a partnership where we are now working on a treatment together for something major, right? So I say all that to say that once you put yourself once you're seeking the knowledge and then you start to seek the people, these things are going to come to you, right? So then what action steps do I need to execute to manage my vision? By finding the right information and the right people that you can connect with that will help you, you will then begin to understand what the next action steps are to then manage the vision. So I say all that to say these are ways that you gain confidence in something that you want to do. For me, mentorship is super key in developing confidence because it puts you in a space where you're able to gather information to help. And the more information that you have, the more you increase your skill set, the more that you can begin to appreciate and have gratitude for that skill set and the things that you're learning. And that helps you develop that self-assurance that you need, which is basically the pillar of confidence, right? One of the quotes that I love from last night, and we again, Carla, you just have changed my life with some of this because these are things and principles that I will continue to live by, and I honestly hope that whatever I'm learning, I'm going to give to you. All right, because I'm applying these steps in my life daily, right? And me showing up here is my level of commitment to you and to myself. But what I love that she says, if it doesn't bring you peace, profit, or purpose, don't give it your time, energy, or attention. And so I think that's also important when we're talking about confidence because we need to know and become very clear on what it is that we want and what it is that we do not want, right? We don't have time while we're on this confidence journey, while we're on this journey in discipline, while we're on this journey of changing our life this year. We don't have time for anything in our lives that don't bring us peace, profit, or purpose. And we have got to honestly let those things go. Those people, those relationships, those extracurricular activities. I am being very honest with you guys. Be judicious with your time this year and cut it. Cut anything that does not bring you peace, profit, or purpose. Okay. It does not deserve your time, energy, or attention as you're on this journey. All right. So, what are the action steps? What can you take from what we've talked about today and begin to implement so that you can start now developing the confidence in whatever it is that you want to do so that you can play bigger, do more, increase your abundance, increase whatever it is that you're trying to do, increase the opportunity for gain, right? Action steps. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about preparation here. Preparation is key. Plan daily, weekly, monthly. Break these things down. For me right now, I am currently in the process of finishing editing book 2 in a series of fiction work that I'm currently working on, right? There are some nonfiction works that I also plan to write this year as well. But what I've done is I've said I've got the next, and this is partially by my editor, right? My editor has given me to a certain date for which I need to complete my initial edits, right? So I'm in that stage of finishing those edits. Once I'm done with that, I will begin the script for my first treatment, right? So I'm going to give myself a month and a half to finish that. In between there, I'm moving and I have a very nice long vacation planned, right? So maybe I'll give myself 2 months to complete this script because I don't really want to do a lot of that work while I'm traveling, although I do enjoy the idea of writing while I'm traveling. So it's all about planning and how you plan things out so that you're not overwhelming yourself by trying to do every little thing all at once. So that's why we talk about preparation being the key here. Um, Oh my God, last night, man, this notion that winning is a habit. When I tell you that was like a wake-up call for me, it's like, yo, the habit is in winning the day, right? Dominating the day. What all did I have on my to-do list today? Did I smash every one of those goals? Or also, okay, did I celebrate the things that I did smash, right? So it's about being consistent with your wins and saying to yourself, every little opportunity for me to accomplish something is a win. You did the laundry today, you won. You did that, right? If that was on your list of things to achieve, you went to the grocery store, you did that. Or you got the meals delivered, you did that, right? You completed one new video for your channel, you did that. You did a new reel, you did that, right? So those are the wins that we want to talk about. Every little thing counts to me now as a win. And as long as I keep that mindset going, then I know that I can continue to build my confidence. Me completing this video is the win. It's what I wanted to do, right? Become deadline driven. And again, my editors have helped me definitely come up with this, and also working in class. We have treatments that are due, beat sheets that are due. You need to have these things turned in. You have your homework assignments turned in. These deadlines have helped because guess what? Done is better than perfect. Did you hear that? Done is better than perfect. What do I mean by that? Having a deadline helps you at least get the task complete. I no longer worry about trying to be the perfect at anything, like have a perfect, Instagram looking page. That ain't me. I mean, I get the aesthetics of it all, but it just ain't me. Was my script perfect? No, it probably wasn't perfect. I probably could have done more, but I did it. I finished it, you know, and now I can say I did it, and now I can go back and redo it if it needs to be redone. But that deadline helps you. And by creating deadlines for yourself to get things done, I feel like it creates a sense of urgency. Because guess what? If you only got 24 hours to clean your house, you're gonna clean your house within less than 24 hours or less, because you got somebody coming over tomorrow. But if you got all week to do it, you're gonna take all week. We're not doing that. All right. So the other thing is to believe in yourself, right? You know, I know it may be difficult at times, especially when you don't always have all of the information and the resources, but you still have to believe in your ability to accomplish goals, no matter what, right? We're talking about winning, and we're talking about winning daily. So if you don't believe in yourself, who will? Who will? And be mindful of your power. Remember when we talked initially about the definition of confidence, we talked about an appreciation for, your own abilities. You already have this stuff inside of you. You already have power inside of you. You already have a skill set. You already have certain experiences that you can bring in to the table for whatever it is that you want to do. So you also have to know that you have the power to make things happen. All you need to do is start. All you need to do is start. So, with that being said, listen, if this has been helpful to you, let me know in the comments. If you guys, if there are other video topics that you guys want me to talk about, then leave them in the comments as well. I want your feedback. I want to know what topics you want me to talk about, because I will give them all to you. This is my opportunity to give whatever I have to hopefully help someone else out there, and maybe you can do the same. All right. With that being said, I will catch you all in the next video.